Okay, hello and welcome to another monthly Eureka unboxing series video thing. Yes, we're talking about the May 2023 releases from Eureka Entertainment, two Hong Kong releases, two fantastic releases. I can't wait to kind of talk about these in even more detail, and I've already been reviewing some of the films that'll be shown in this video anyway. The timeline's a bit jumbled up as I've been making these videos, but let's just dive right into this with the first release, Hopping Mad, the Mr. Vampire sequels. So I have not seen the first Mr. Vampire film, which I've made no pretense over. You know, I came into this with the second movie, which is not how I usually like to do things, but I was really drawn in by just the look of this. I think the slipcover's gorgeous. The artwork by, is it Darren Wheeling again? Yes, Darren Wheeling did the artwork for this one. And now that I've seen all these films, it's really cool to kind of see where all the different kind of characters come from. Mr. Vampire 2, Mr. Vampire 3, Mr. Vampire Saga 4, and then Vampire vs. Vampire as well. All mainly, of course, featured around Lam Ching-ying, who plays in most of the movies the kind of Taoist priest who takes on these hopping vampires, these Guernsey, but it's nice to see people like Wu Ma there and so on. Ridiculously oversized sword. I think I'm not sure if it's a Peachwood sword. I'm kind of getting up on my Guernsey lore, and I believe that's Anthony Chan's character. We've got Yuen Biu there, Pauline Wong, Billy Lau. So Richard Ng. So I'm learning. I'm learning my Hong Kong cinema. Pauline Wong again. She's there for a second time. She has a very memorable role in the third film. So let's get into this. Hopping Mad, the Mr. Vampire sequels. Again, great slipcover. I love the kind of colorful design on this. And this is a 2-disc edition. And I'll put this there if you want to read through everything. But we do have 2K restorations for Mr. Vampire 2 and 3. And then Mr. Vampire Saga 4 and Vampire vs. Vampire are up from brand new HD restorations, not 2K restorations. Cantonese audio, original mono presentation on all films. Alternate English dub track for Mr. Vampire 2. And newly translated subtitles for all of the films as well. Then we have brand new feature-length audio commentaries on Mr. Vampire 2 and Vampire vs. Vampire by Frank Zheng. We then have more brand new feature-length audio commentaries on Mr. Vampire 3 and Mr. Vampire Saga 4 with Mike Leader and Arna Venema. And then on top of that, we have a bonus 5th commentary on Mr. Vampire 3 with Frank Zheng and film writer John Charles. Then there's Taoist Cinema, The World of Mr. Vampire, a brand new video piece on the history and resurgent popularity of the Guernsey genre, and Vampire Legacy, another brand new video piece which examines the rituals portrayed in the Mr. Vampire series and how some are still practiced in modern-day Hong Kong. Then there's trailers and a limited edition booklet featuring new writing on the films and the Guernsey genre by James Oliver. This thing is stacked. So, very, very cool. And we'll take a look at the inside now. We have a reversible inlay, which has posters for all 4 of the films. So the first one here is Mr. Vampire 2, Vampire Family. I love this one. Definitely has shades of E.T., but I just, I was all in on this little kid here who plays this young boy vampire. On the back, we have Mr. Vampire 3, Mr. Supernatural. This is just a great horror, action, comedy film. Richard Ng, Lam Ching-ying, just fantastic. And then I'll take out the inlay and show you the other 2 covers in just a second. Here we have the discs. Obviously split across 2 there, 2 films per disc. And we have the booklet there. Let's take a quick look at that. Very, very cool. You have the kind of paper talisman over the vampire there and the titles of each of the movies. On the back, got the man himself, Lam Ching-ying, in his Taoist robes. Of course, listings for each of the films, cast and crew. And this is Bouncing Back, Return of the Hopping Vampires, a very lengthy essay by James Oliver, which goes into the history of the genre and talks about all 4 of the films as well. And you get images and lots of cool things there. Very nice. Some alternate posters, which are always kind of fun to see. And kind of production stills. And it even talks about some of the Mr. Vampire films that aren't in this collection, and how the kind of franchise kind of just grew and grew and grew. And this is one of my favorite moments in Mr. Vampire 2. And there you go. That's the booklet. Viewing notes, Blu-ray credits, all that good stuff. And here we have the different covers for the 4th and technically 5th film. So we have Mr. Vampire Saga 4 here with Wu Ma, Anthony Chan, I forget, Chin Garlock, I think, and Loretta Lee. I love this film so much. This was, I think, my favorite of the 4. And on the back you have Vampire versus Vampire, or One-Eyebrowed Taoist Priest. And actually I think the title for Mr. Vampire 4 is Uncle Vampire. But yeah, so you get nice original posters for the inside, and then this gorgeous slipcover on the outside. So by the time I posted this video, I should have reviews up for all 4 of these films, and then I'm going to be doing a wrap-up talking about all the extras and kind of digging into a few things I forgot. And I do think that my review of Mr. Vampire, or Vampire versus Vampire I should say, was maybe a bit too harsh. So I've kind of, in doing the review and going through the film for clips, I kind of found a newfound appreciation for Vampire versus Vampire. I still don't think it's a great movie, but it's gone up in my estimation. So that's Hopping Mad, the Mr. Vampire sequels. Loved this release, loved these films. So much fun, so much creativity, so much invention, and just furthering my, incredibly passionate love affair with Hong Kong cinema that's been just blossoming the past 6 months or so. In fact, you could say it's a burning love affair, and it just continues with this film, which is directed by Ringo Lam, and it is Burning Paradise. This is just a dark epic. I love this film. This is just, how do you describe it, really? We have the lead character here, who's a Shaolin monk, and he shows up and just takes on a whole fucking army at the beginning. It's mental. And from there, he meets a woman out in the desert. They get captured, they get taken away, they're imprisoned in this Red Lotus temple, which is this just hell on earth labyrinth of caves, and the majority of the movie takes place in this underground temple. And there's just fire, there's booby traps, there's gore, there's, it's just full of decadence, incredible fight scenes, and these kind of claustrophobic conditions. But it's just, it's a beautifully horrible film in terms of just some of the dark stuff that goes on in it. I'm not surprised that it got the 18 rating from BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification. Gorgeous slipcover. This really captures just a great art piece, itself. And the film itself is kind of very linked to art as well, which is kind of interesting. And I'm looking forward to reviewing this film and getting in depth on it. And the artwork was done again by Darren Wheeling, who's just knocking these things out of the park as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this film, incredible. This is a new 2K restoration from the film's original 35mm camera negative. Original Cantonese mono audio, newly translated English subtitles, and a feature-length audio commentary by Frank Jiang, an archival interview with Choi Hark, who produced the film, original theatrical trailer, and a collector's booklet featuring new writing by James Oliver. Now, one thing about this release I should mention is that there was going to be an interview with the actor who plays the villain of the film, KK Wong. And it's not included on the disc. Eureka has said that they will include that interview on a later release. One would assume a film that stars KK Wong. In the commentary, Frank Jiang kind of talks a lot about the things that he heard from KK Wong in that interview. But apparently the issue was it was just so long and he had so much to say. They filmed for over an hour. And so I don't know whether they just didn't have time. And I can't remember what they specified as the reason, but It is a shame it's not included, but I'm very much looking forward to it on a later release. I just hope it kind of makes sense with whatever they decide to package it with, because that would have just really tipped this release over the edge for me in terms of extras. On the inside here we have the same beautiful artwork, and pretty much identical there on the back. Obviously you don't have the mention of the booklet there, so when this gets released in a regular edition, it won't have the slipcover or the booklet. Inside there you have the disc artwork and the booklet, and there is a reversible sleeve. I'll take that out in just a second, but let's take a look at the booklet. This is just really nice. This ties into the film, this piece on the front, and on the back there you have the army from the beginning of the film. A kind of cast and credits list at the beginning there, with a very striking shot of the film with the skeleton and the candle. Nice poster there, and the essay is titled Temple on Fire, Blasphemy, Perversion, and the Dark-Faced God by James Oliver. So this goes into the film, and you have some nice images. I love this massive, ridiculous sword that our hero has at the beginning of the film. He just absolutely wrecks shit with that thing. And some of the cinematography in this film is just incredible. I think it's again, it's a gorgeous film, but it's you know, it's all these skulls at the bottom on the poster is not far off how dark some of the imagery does get in the movie. So there we go. That is the essay in the booklet. A couple of images. Another shot there of some of the paintings that are included in the film, which were done by K.K. Wong, who plays the incredible villain in this film. It's such a memorable performance and such a great, you know, antagonist performance. And speaking of the antagonist, here we have a closer look at the man himself there, who just, the way his character kind of is first introduced and then the layers get peeled back is just incredible. So this is obviously some sort of original poster artwork, which is pretty cool. Got the title there. And then on the back it's just a different color design basically. Very cool. I do prefer the new artwork, but this is cool to have as well. And there we have the two releases from Eureka for May of 2023. Loved all 5 of these. Well, I loved 4 of these films, and Vampire vs. Vampire was a bit of a... It just pales in comparison to the rest of them, but overall these releases are just stunning. Can't wait to talk about next month. Can't wait to give you my full review on this one. So let me know if you picked up these films, if you've seen them, what you think. I'd love to talk about them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.